Most people think the worst thing a family can hand you is a casserole they know you don't like. Mine handed me a contract, 18 pages of very good paper, a folder sitting beside the ham like it belonged there. Welcome back to Grows Love. Here, grab your snacks, get comfortable, and remember, the people in these stories had every chance to behave themselves. They just chose wrong. Drop a comment with the word contract if you've ever been blindsided by the people who were supposed to love you most. And if you're new here, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. You're going to need them for what's coming. If you've ever been backstabbed by the ones who raised you, if you've ever felt your own body turned into currency at a holiday table, stick around. Because this one starts with Easter ham and ends with my sister flatlining in the ER, while the same family that tried to rent my womb begged me on their knees. You're going to feel every second of it. I had been back in my own apartment for 11 months, the exact length of time it takes a woman to stop flinching when the phone rings. One bedroom above a dry cleaner on Ridge Street in Clarendon Mills, population 9,000. One traffic light that blinked yellow after 9 at night. Rent was $640. The ceiling sloped in the bedroom like it was tired of standing up straight, just like me. The radiator knocked every March like it was trying to get my attention. It was mine. I was 41, paralegal at Harvison and Pratt, family law firm 2 blocks from the courthouse. I read documents for a living, wills, divorces, custody battles. I knew what fine print smelled like. I had miscarried twice during my marriage. My family treated those losses like missing socks, misplaced, inconvenient, not worth tracking. That Sunday the phone rang. "Aunt Lillian, your mother has been quiet," she said in a way I don't like. I told her mom was probably just tired. Aunt Lillian laughed once, short and dry. "Helena, your mother does not do quiet. Your mother does strategy. We talked about her orchids. We talked about the Mitchell's roof." Then she said the sentence that landed like a gavel. "Easter's in 2 weeks. In our family that wasn't an invitation, it was a receipt." I had stayed with my sister Margaret for 6 weeks the year before, 42 days, 4 loads of laundry, 1 accidentally shared conditioner bottle. I paid $900 toward groceries. I cleaned her kitchen twice because cleaning someone else's kitchen is how I apologize for taking up space. I left by the 2nd Saturday in May. A favor you didn't ask for is an invoice someone already wrote in their head. Margaret had been adding interest since 1994. My sister was not a monster. She was a woman who had been told no 3 times by her own body. 44 years old, elementary school principal, Christmas cards with family portraits in matching sweaters even though the frame stayed empty. She and Trevor had sunk $118,000 into IVF after insurance. Mostly from the inheritance our grandmother left in 2019 with strong opinions about great-grandchildren she would never meet. I drove Margaret home from her 2nd egg retrieval. I held her hand in the clinic parking lot while she cried into a bran muffin. I grieved with her. You can grieve for someone and still refuse to become their next science experiment. I overheard my mother in the pantry that previous Thanksgiving. "She isn't using her body for anything right now." She meant me. I stood in the hallway with a serving spoon in my hand and swallowed that sentence whole. My mother phoned on a Thursday, first warning because my mother only phoned on Sundays. "Easter dinner, 4 o'clock, your father wants to see you." My father had not requested to see me in 11 months. He was in the habit of nodding, not asking. I called Aunt Lillian back. "I think we need coffee this Saturday," she said. "I've already made a pie." That was how we agreed to prepare for war. I drove out to her farm. Cherry pie on the table, coffee already poured. "Your mother called me Tuesday," she said. "Asked if I thought you'd ever considered having another baby." Aunt Lillian looked at me with those pale, patient eyes. "Times do not change, Helena. People just get bolder." Then she told me a story she had kept inside for 53 years about being 19 and a pregnancy her own mother refused to name. When I stood to leave, she squeezed my hand at the door. "Whatever they ask of you, read it. Don't just listen, read it." Page 4. Things always live on page 4. Easter Sunday, 3:47 p.m. 5 cars in a 4-person dinner driveway. My mother opened the door too fast. "Sweetheart," the word hadn't been used since 2018. I filed it like evidence. Inside, the chandelier, bought for a funeral and never taken down, was blazing. Trevor's handshake felt like a man checking if he'd locked the car. Margaret wore her asking for something blouse. Uncle Don, the family lawyer from Ohio, gave a small wave from the couch and did not stand. The folder sat on the sideboard beside the ham. Cream card stock, £24, paper clip aligned like it had been measured. Title page, Altruistic Gestational Surrogacy Agreement. We ate ham. We talked about roofs and snow. My mother's hands stayed folded under the table, her tell. Then she spoke for 2 minutes and 40 seconds without breathing. Helena, we are a family. Your sister is in a season of hurt, altruistic surrogacy. A gift of love between sisters. You're in a season of transition yourself. It could be a time of meaning. Margaret reached across the table, single practiced tear from the left eye. You're the only one who can do this. My mother's voice dropped. Your sister took you in when you had nowhere. You owe her. I folded my napkin. I asked to see the contract. Margaret slid it across the table like she'd rehearsed the motion 100 times in front of the mirror. I opened to page 1. I read aloud at my paralegal pace, 1 sentence per breath. The word altruistic appeared 4 times before page 2. Page 2 introduced the money, reimbursable expenses paid to Margaret, not to me. Page 3 gave her sole authority over all my medical communications. I would not receive my own test results. I would be a room with a refrigerator in it, and my sister held the only key. I turned to page 4, there it was. The carrier agrees to abide by any and all medical recommendations of the intended parents and their chosen physicians, including but not limited to selective reduction, termination in the event of fetal anomaly, bed rest, and lifestyle restrictions enforceable by court order. In the event of breach, the carrier shall reimburse the intended parents for all prior expenses plus a penalty of $50,000. I closed the folder slowly. The chandelier light caught the paperclip and flashed like a blade. I looked up, I smiled the polite smile I kept for firm holiday parties. This contract is coercive. It's not altruistic. It's not even legal in this state without independent counsel. Uncle Don, you can't draft this for your own family. Silence thick enough to chew. My mother's jaw set the way it did in 1993 when I quit piano. Trevor stared at his plate. Margaret's tear dried on her cheek like it had never been real. My mother stood. After everything we've done for you. I stood too. I left the folder on the table like a receipt they could keep. I walked out past the porch lilies and the 5 cars, and I did not look back. The next 6 months were radio silence. Then the text started. Selfish, ungrateful, not real family. My mother changed her Facebook status to "It's so sad when blood turns cold." Margaret posted a throwback photo of us at 16 with the caption, "Some sisters would do anything for each other." I went no contact. Aunt Lillian sent me orchids every month and 1 line on a note card. Page 4 was worse than I thought. You did good, kid. I threw myself into work, made senior paralegal, night classes, passed the bar at 43. Opened my own small practice in the next county, family law, ironically. Met David at a continuing ed seminar. Quiet man who never once asked me to carry anything I didn't want to carry. We married. We had a daughter, naturally, no needles, no contracts, no audience. Her name is Lillian. 5 years, 3 months, and 11 days after that Easter dinner, my phone rang at 2:17 a.m. My mother's voice cracked open. Helena. Margaret's in the ER, car accident. She's bleeding internally. They need a kidney. You're the only match. I drove 2 hours through rain that sounded like static. Walked into the waiting room still in pajama pants. The whole family was there, same faces, older, smaller. My mother looked like she'd aged 10 years in one night. Trevor was grey. Uncle Don wouldn't meet my eyes. The doctor explained, rare blood type, partial match only from a sibling. Time was short. My mother grabbed my wrist. Please, Helena, she's your sister. Family takes care of family. I looked at every single one of them. I pulled out my phone, hit record, and laid it on the plastic chair between us. I'll do it. But first you're going to say it out loud. All of it, the contract, the guilt, the way you treated my body like a rental car. You're going to apologize on camera right now, or I walk out that door and you can explain to your daughter why her aunt let her mother die. Silence except for the heart monitor down the hall. My mother's voice shook. We never should have put you in that position. The contract was wrong. We were desperate and we were cruel. I'm sorry. Margaret's husband started crying. Margaret from the bed later whispered it too when they wheeled her past me. Eyes swollen, voice raw. I'm sorry, Helena. I turned you into a means to an end. I made them say every specific thing. The pantry comment. The you owe her, the way they rewrote my story for 15 years. I recorded every word, then I signed the consent forms. The surgery was long. I woke up to my daughter holding my hand and Aunt Lillian reading an orchid care book out loud like it was a bedtime story. Margaret lived. She sent flowers 3 weeks later with a card that just said thank you. No excuses, no more demands. I kept the recording. I never posted it. I never had to. The family knows I have it. They know I could end the perfect Christmas card version of their lives with one upload. They send Lillian birthday cards now. They ask before they visit. They call me by my name instead of the agreeable one. I kept my daughter's middle name Lillian for the woman who taught me that calm is not the absence of feeling, it's the presence of choice. Family doesn't get to rewrite your story unless you hand them the pen. I took mine back, and when they needed me most, I made sure they wrote the ending themselves, on camera in their own shaking voices. If this story hit you in the chest, smash that like button until your finger hurts. Subscribe for more stories where the quiet ones finally speak. Drop your own page 4 moment in the comments. I read every single one. If you're still watching, comment the word orchid and I'll know you made it to the end. Next video is already waiting for you. Click the box that just popped up. It's even wilder. Until next time, remember, the people who try to own your body will always underestimate what happens when you finally read page 4. I'll see you in the next one. Stay grows, stay dangerous.